An analysis by the National Post has found that the Trudeau Foundation has been bringing in a lot of money since Justin Trudeau was chosen as leader of the Liberal Party back in 2013. The money contributed to the foundation by foreign donors has also grown in that time. Claire Brownell is one of the reporters working on this investigation, and she joins me now. Claire, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, so the amount of money has increased substantially since Justin Trudeau became the leader and eventually the prime minister of this country. Why is that a cause for concern?
Well, the Trudeau administration, when Justin Trudeau came into power, set out a really high standard for itself when it comes to conflicts of interest. They put out a set of rules called the Open and Accountable Government Guidelines. And in those, it says very clearly that ministers need to avoid not only conflicts of interest, but perceptions of conflicts of interest. Justin Trudeau, the Liberals say there's no link here. He's not involved. He stopped being formally involved in December of 2014, but his brother still sits on the board. The foundation is in memory of his late father. And a lot of people are saying, you know, if somebody wanted to make nice with the Trudeau administration, something that would be likely to promote a warm and fuzzy feeling in Justin, let's say, might be to make a donation to this foundation.
Have you been able to find a causal link where somebody has donated a substantial amount of money to the foundation and has received some sort of ruling or possible favor from the government?
Well, we can't make a link quite that clearly between giving, and something happening as a result. But what we can say for sure is there's a substantial number of donors and people connected to the foundation in various ways who are connected to organizations and companies that are lobbying the federal government on various issues. So one example is Google. Former Google Chief Financial Officer Patrick Pichette sits on the board of the foundation, was involved in helping secure a substantial donation from Google to a conference in 2015. Google lobbies the federal government all the time. They were under investigation by the Competition Bureau for anti-competitive practices in 2013. In 2016, they dropped that investigation without charges. So you can't make a causal link, but you know I think it would be fair to say that a perception of a conflict might appear.
Which, to your earlier point, perhaps breaks the prime minister's own rules when it comes to the conflict of interest. Is he guilty of not following his own rules that he's laid out for himself and his party, his government?
Well, what the government's response to this when they've been asked these questions over and over in the House of Commons has been, we're not breaking any laws. And the prime minister has essentially said, if somebody wants to come up to me and talk to me about things that are of interest to them at a fundraiser or any sort of event, I'm not swayed by that. I'm not influenced by that. But that isn't really how perceived conflicts of interest work. We don't just say, okay, government, we trust you. We say, we expect you to avoid, anything that could give the appearance of a conflict. And that's what they've laid out in those rules. A lot of people are saying this is a violation
Well, when
of
the
that.
prime minister made that statement earlier this week that, yes, he's lobbied, but it doesn't influence his decision making, I think the next logical question is, how do we know? How would we know, right?
Well, exactly. And there's really no answer to that except, you have to either just trust him, or in which case, why have these open and accountable government rules at all?
All right. Claire Brownell with the National Post. Thank you so much for the time this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you.